Hey, I'm not. Hey, I'm not peeling another one.
So sorry,
What?
Yes.
No.
What up, world? It's your boy DZ. I got an interesting topic for you today. I've been debating for a while whether I should talk about this, but because I've been through a lot, I have my own experiences, I try to put people out there and tell them uplifting things. Like things can be bad, but you still can overcome them. So I'm gonna tell you the story about my son passing away. And once again, the purpose is uplift others who are going through the same situation. And kind of like my perspective on this one is like, I want to target a certain person. Friends of mine, Monica and EJ. I know, man, that shit painful. Sorry don't help shit. Like I that's all I could do is be supportive. And because I've been in them shoes, that's all you can do. Somebody tell you sorry, it's like, what the fuck sorry gonna do? Like, nobody should see their child pass. Like, your kids is the ones supposed to be bearing you. So let's get into the story. When I first found the news, my ex was pregnant. Porsche at the time, some years ago. Things were a little rocky. You want me to say cliche shit like I was happy when I found out she got pregnant? Nah, I was like a typical nigga. Like, yeah, I trapped your ass. Later down the road, I found out having a boy. I just knew I was gonna have a girl. I was excited this time because I'm having my little nigga, like a mini me, like a nigga who's gonna be like me and my father. Like, that sound bad because we some hard head dudes, but it is what it is. But so a child was born, but before that, we had a little visits, little ultrasound visits, and all of them went well. But there was one particular one where I feel could have been pointed out, and the tech was saying he had some light spots on his heart, and like we just looking like this is our first child, we don't really know, like it's not our job, it's not a profession. So they said everything's fine, but it's kind of, they raised a little caution around where they worked, which was kind of weird. So to this day it stands out to me like, what if they gave more attention to that? What could have been avoided? So as times go by, everything fine. We start to see the ultrasounds and the pictures. Like, you know how you got the 3D ultrasound now? Like, I see the nose, face, my damn crimson chin. I see his mother's big ass head. So we know, like, yo, I know exactly what he's going to look like. And it's funny because my daughter looks exactly like him right now. Like, exactly like him. She's the female version of my son. So November 11th comes. Actually, it wasn't November 11th. November 13th come, so his birthday, 11, 13, 13. While I was at work, I got the call from my mom saying she huffing and puffing. She's like, yo, it's time to go. So they outside the hospital, taking laps around the hospital. I guess they told him to get the contractions down a little bit more before you get checked in. So my mom's walking around the hospital. I shout out to my boss back then, Sergeant Sykes. He just made senior anyway, just off topic. But he was like, go handle your business. Congratulations, the whole office was like, congratulations. So, time later on that night, he was born. I don't remember the time actually, but he was born, big ass head too. He ripped his mother up, like she had to get stitched and everything. And it's crazy what you see, like these doctors be doing. Like the doctor literally put his hand inside her and pulled this dude out, man. I was like, yo, that's crazy. But a lot of dudes say it's disgusting watching the pregnancy, but it actually didn't bother me at all. Like, I don't know why. Like, yeah, they push all the blood and shit all out and all this drainage and fluids come out, but it's like, that's not really the concern. But it's like when my son came out, Portia was crying and like, I'm like, damn, that shit crazy. It's like your body automatically tell you like, you gonna drop a tear. And like, I don't put myself as a hard ass dude, but yeah, I guess it was tears of joy. But I'm like, well, I'm crying. And I'm like holding it, and she's crying. I'm like, yo, this really mine. This me. So they over with. Everybody's excited. They try to promote this skin-to-skin contact when you're first born. And so I used to sit and lay in the bed and have my son laying on me. And I used to notice, like, why is he always so warm? And it's like I used to hear his heart used to be beating so fast. And I'm like, what? I wasn't looking at it at the time because, like, once again, you don't know. You don't know. You don't think to check, like, maybe that's normal, maybe it's not. So I think it was his weekly checkup, or, yeah, it was weekly, a 2-week checkup. So we went in, have a checkup, and we noticed the nurse giving him his blood pressure, and she's counting, and she does it over like 2-3 times, and it's like she's panicking, like. So she goes back there and she gets the head nurse, and she's like, I can't count the heartbeat. So they rushed him to the hospital down the street. I'm not gonna say any names in no hospital because I don't want this shit to come back on me and I get sued. But we rushed down the street, which is a block away. So I got a big ass emergency vehicle bill for no reason, even though it's paid for by TRICARE. But right down the block, so I take the car there, and Porsche gets in an emergency vehicle with my son. So we head there. I see him in the room. It's like 9-10 doctors around. I'm like, what the fuck going on? So he's sitting there screaming. I'm sitting there pacing outside the room because I can't watch the shit. I cannot watch my son in pain, man. It's like I don't know what to fucking do. I'm crying, pacing, like, yo, I don't know what to expect right now. There's people trying to calm me down. Like I can't watch. I can't watch. So he in there screaming at the top of his lungs, and I guess because he's hungry, but his blood pressure is like over 200. Like I'm watching the machine, loud as a siren. I'm like, man, not today, man, not today. So we went to another hospital. We had to go 40 minutes away to another hospital, and stayed in there a couple of days. They did some tests on them. They finally found a medicine called digoxin. And I guess that was working, and so he was going to be on it until he finally grew out of it. So like a year later, he finally grew out of the medicine. So after a while being on the medicine, digoxin, we had some good luck from it. Like he didn't have any major issues, any emergency issues. Only thing, pretty common problem was probably the breathing treatments. Like, you know how kids sometimes get bronchitis or stuff like that. So time passes, I'm like, man, I gotta get my child out of here. Like, we need to go to a place where it's better to raise him. It's more family oriented. Time passes, I finally make the decision that let me volunteer for Korea. So when you're in the military, kind of most of the time, like especially maintenance, like if you want to get out of there where you're at, your current assignment, you're gonna have to go to Korea to get out. So that's what I did. 3 months later, I left. I'm gonna do the time. Yeah, I had to do a year there. I didn't finish a year. I think it was like 8 months, but it was cool. Me nothing your child. It's like it's like a little weakness you feel, but once again, like you gotta turn it into a strength. So it's like times I be like, man, I wish I was with my son. Like everybody know I love my son, man. My son, he was as mini me. So I used to call him different times, and Porsche used to say he used to get up out the dead. He used to wake up from the dead every time he heard that FaceTime sound. I used to talk to him, and he didn't really say too much. He just his face be in the phone, and like it was funny. Like, man, that dude was funny, man. My daughter funny too, but my daughter, what she does, she'll get in the phone. You say hi, Nova. She look at her mom and they'll go run off and do something else. My son, he just can't wait to press that big red button and end the call. We tell him bye, he know what to do. 6 months pass, I go on mid-tour. Days getting slower and slower until I got there. So I get there, it was pretty late. My son was asleep. I tried to cut the light on to get him out of bed to say hi. he wasn't having it. He wouldn't open his eyes, so I just let him go back to sleep. So I get up in the morning, I go talk to my mom. Portia gets him out the room and has him in the bed with her. And I go back in there, he's looking like, who the fuck are you? He's just staring at me like, who are you? And like, it took a couple days for him to warm me. I get to spend a good amount of time with my son. It was a good 30 days, but I wish it was longer. It was kind of, I would say this, it was pretty hard for me to be a dad at first. Like, I was kind of nervous of it, and it's kind of, because I got over it, it's easier to put towards my daughter. But you just get into practices where it's actually different. Like, somebody could say, like, I'm good with kids, and they watch people's children, but it's not the same as raising a child at all. Like, when you have your own, you got to deal with all the problems. When you watching somebody's kids, they crying and shit, you just pass that shit off to them. But mental went well. Like, I had points where I used to try to discipline him. One time, he did something, I don't know what he did. And I told him to sit down, so he's sitting down on the couch. Put him on timeout, and I asked him to apologize for something. He was like, no. And I could do nothing but laugh because, like, the dude has got a smart ass mouth. He funny, man. Like, any other time, like, I ain't having it. But he used to get over on his mom and shit. I'm like, yo, you not gonna push over on your father. Like, you certain stuff, like, I yell, raise my voice. Like, give him one little loud noise, he'll jump. I'm like, yeah, you're not trying that with me today. Like, go try that with your mother, but not me. My mom wasn't having it either. Like, his grandma, he used to do some wild stuff. One thing he liked to do is throw phones. My mom used to walk around for months with a cracked screen because my son did it. He just liked to throw stuff. Remember another time, we went to go see his grandparents, and it's late at night. I thought he was asleep. His mother was asleep, so I'm in the room with her brother Quint. And he doing some Xbox shit. I think he's playing the game where he was making beats. Shout out to Quint too, Real Cash Nova on Instagram. Like, he does my beats. And who was in there? I went back to check on him. He's in there with the TV on, laying on his back, head up watching TV, and he has his diaper off, and he's playing with his meat. And it's just like, I guess he peed on himself and took it off and just was playing with his meat. I'm like, what you doing? And then I wake his mom, I'm like, are you serious, son? And I'm like, I don't even know what to think right now. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what he was watching. But that's funny, man. Another time, right before I was about to go back to Korea. So we outside, and this sounds stupid, but I'm burning some mail because we don't have a shredder. So all the mail I racked up while I was gone, I was looking at the way I need and what I don't need. So I'm outside burning mail inside of a tire rim. And I happen to see an ash of cardboard just fly in the air, and I'm just looking at it, I'm like, oh man. So like, in slow motion, I'm seeing it move, and it goes to my son and it gets in my son's leg and like burns his diaper off, and then I wipe it off. I pick him up, wipe him off, and he screams, and I rub it off, and then his skin comes off. I'm like, nah, they gonna think I'm trying to burn my child. So I take him in the house, I give him to his mother. His mother puts him in the tub, it's cold water. He was like, hot, 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 hot. And he's not even crying, he's just saying it's hot. And I'm like, man, I feel so bad. I was like, oh man, I gotta leave the next day, and my son gonna think I burnt him on purpose. It was a complete accident. But man, shit happens, man. It's kind of, well, I'm always walking around with my shirt off, and he is too. Like, he don't like clothes either. Like, I hate clothes. Like, if I go to work with my shirt off, I would. And also was another situation also. So we went to go see my dad in prison, and my son's running around. So everybody else visiting, they people in there, and my son running around. My dad was like, let him live. Like, he a child. You being too hard on him. I'm like, nah. So I go over there and catch him, and he get mad at me. My son would get mad at me and start screaming because I caught him. My dad was like, you being too hard on him? I'm like, what? We used to get our ass beat. What you mean too hard? My brother used to be running into the bed trying not to get beat. Man, we had a hard life. We had a good childhood though, but I would say this, like, I would like to raise my son, my kids, the way I was raised. And most people can't say that because there's a lot of people around here with single mothers or single fathers. You don't see that as much, but man, shit can be worse. Like, in this situation, you see how I would turn a negative to a positive. So, someone come down the line, I go back to Korea. After about, I say, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I get the call. 3, 4 weeks. It's one night, I'm going to sleep, right, and I didn't call my son. And I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna call tonight because, like, I'm not in a good mood. So I went to sleep, and that night, I had a dream that something bad, I don't remember exactly what happened in the dream, but something bad happened to either my father or my son. So next day, I go to work, go through my day, kind of weird. After work, I get back to my room, my dorm room, and I get a call from my friend Pedro. He was like, yo, your mom's trying to find out, like, your first sergeant and, like, your Red Cross information. I'm like, for what? Like, Pedro messed that up. Like, why would you call me? You're supposed to call, like, your leadership or something. So, I'm like, I get off the phone with him. I'm like, okay. So I get a call from my mom. My mom calls me. She's crying. I'm like, nah. I had a feeling already. She called me crying. She was like, he's gone. And I'm like, nah. So I hang up the phone, and I'm bawling, crying, like, dropped down to my knees. I don't even know who heard me. I called Spence. I called D. Called Slum. Slum called Monte. And I'm not sure if Shy was around at the time, but, like, that was some grown man tears. Like, I cried. This man Spence shoulders just gave the sound, man. And, like, I seen that man cry too. Like, he cried too, and, like, I think that's the worst pain you can have in the world. Like, that shit's unexplainable. It's like having that support. It's like Slum has some other friends. D has some other people. Like, yo, make sure DZ is good. Like, stay around him for 24 hours. And they stayed around me until I called my first sergeant, and he got the info, and they talked to Slum, talked to D. It was like, thanks for getting him, thanks for this, like, do what you have to do to make sure he's good until he gets on this plane, which I got on the plane, like, the next day. They got me a ticket out of here. And at the moment, I was struggling. Like, I really didn't have no money. And then I didn't have money at the time either for the funeral. And the military is actually good with families. It may have its ups and downs, but when it has to do with families, like, they help out pretty well. And they actually gave me money or donated me money for the funeral, so, and travel expenses. So, Slum, D, Monte, they all take me to the airport. I keep wondering if Rashad was with us, but they took me to the airport. They took me directly there. We ate, made sure I got on a flight. Like, so I got it all out of me. I got the crying all out of me on my flight. Got the crying out, like, so I got home and I walk in the house. And I got Kiki, my grandparents, Ro, Jannar, Portia, my aunt Michelle, my mom. They all come in the door, and I walk in with some bottles of soju. Like, everybody looking at me like I'm supposed to be sad, and I'm like, man, I done already got this part out of me. Like this is the part where I have to show that I'm strong, so people will feed off that energy. So I come in like, y'all trying to drink, and they looking at me like, man, this nigga. But I'm like, man, I just wasn't going to bring that vibe into there. Like, yeah, I lost my son, but let's get back up a little bit. Like, come on now. Like, don't be sad. Like, try to uplift me also. Like, don't let me be the one doing it. But that's how my father raised me. Like, I kind of don't like to let people see me down. But funeral services be doing some fucked up shit behind the scenes that we don't know about. And I remember like I didn't want to handle that part of it. I was handling the money part. So Janara did a good job in going to the funeral service, and they gave her a bag back with his clothes, and it had blood on it. I'm like, what type of stuff is that? So I guess Portia kind of broke down about it, and Janara was like going off on him. Like, it be some really fishy stuff going on in the funeral service. We had the funeral in Virginia. But I do want to give thanks to those people in Korea who looked out for me. Me, like all my friends, they had the Melo jerseys. I'm a Melo fan, Knicks fan. He ain't there no more, but all my friends got jerseys made and supported me. Spence, Monte, Meek, Slum, D. Everybody had their jerseys saying their name on it. It was like Baby Badass jerseys. Like I don't even have one, but like the support helped you get through things. And I just want to give thanks to the people who looked out for me. Stewie, India, Haley, all those people looked at me like I would never like bite the hand and feed you. Like them people looked at me like I'm gonna be appreciative towards it. So the funeral comes. I asked my Aunt Maxine before it and my Uncle Fred, like, would you, in honor, would you have a little get together after it? So they was like, yeah, of course. Like, the funeral was straight though. We had it in Norfolk. I kind of tried to keep my composure for everyone else because I did all my crying when I was on the plane and when the situation happened. But I'm not sure if I put something on Instagram about it or somebody else spread the word, but the word got around. When I seen how many people was there, I was like, wow, I really got some supporters here. It's people that actually fuck with me. So yeah, it's pretty sad. I'm not really with the church vibe, but I remember going in there. I had on my KDs, Aunt Pearl KDs, skinny jeans with the rips in it. They was white. I had my blazer on. Like I was fresh as a bitch. Porsche was nice. I had my gun on me. I had a holster on me. Like people was hugging me. Like, what the fuck is that? Like yo, it just was like a day for like whatever I wanted to do for my son that day. I was gonna do it. I don't care if I was in a church setting or not, which I do not believe in. But we had a little get together. It's crazy that a death has to happen in order to bring people together. Like, I haven't seen my brothers and sisters and uncles in one place in a long time. And like, even my friends that came, people remember them. My dude Watts, Pedro, Lamar was there, Dana, my cousins, Tyrell, Coco, Marky. Like, it was crazy. Like, we enjoyed ourselves. My brother was there, my Uncle Sue, crazy ass. Like, everybody was drinking, having fun. It was like, I don't really think it was celebrating the death. It was just like, we here, like, we here for you. But it was crazy, man. But situations like that, I look back at and I'm grateful for it. Like, I don't have any complaints. Like, yeah, I lost my boy, my first one, C3, but just gotta look forward. I really don't have too many negatives in my life right now because of all of that energy I use positive. I mean, it's got one negative in my life. I mean, if you know me, you know who that is. But it's like really nothing. Can't blame anybody else but myself. Like, if you want something, like, you got to put the effort in. And I put the effort in on my end, but things don't always go so well. But mentally, I'm struggling, but I play a lot, joke a lot. That's just the things that keep me afloat. And like, there's things in my past where I regret doing, and I just did it because it was a stress reliever. I won't jump into that right now. Maybe sometime sooner. Not sooner, but later. But it's a lot to me. You'll be like, damn, I don't know how you do it. And sometimes I sit here and question myself. Monica and EJ, man, I don't believe in God, but like, with all the power invested in me, like, I really hope y'all get it together, man. If anybody know, I know how loss is, man. Like, get it together, man. Whatever you had to do to cope with it, do it. But y'all can't lose it for each other. Y'all supposed to get through that together. And Portia is my ex-wife, but we got through that together. It's like some shit you just put aside for the bigger picture. And being mature and humble, usually that's your first instinct. Childishness, like, it's not gonna get you through it. Like, that's young-minded, closed-minded shit. Like, but I support you also. Jelly Bean, R.I.P. Y'all get it together. Y'all got anything to ask me? Anybody else need to ask me any further questions? Like, I'm free to answer. Like, I can openly discuss anything. But one more thing. So it's basically these conferences, like, I've been told about people with the same problem with their kids, like, and it's basically like a SUDS thing, like, with people babies just passing suddenly, and I don't really do too much digging into it. I kind of just leave it in the past. Things I do to cope with it is I try to keep my son as a mental vision in my head. I don't like to keep looking at old pictures of him and old videos of him. I just try to leave it as it is. I got him tatted on my back, and he with me everywhere. That's how I look at it. And some people just keep trying to relive something. And I'm not really saying just get over it, but just leave it there. Like, I always will view my son in my head. He'll always be the same age for the rest of my life. I don't know if you know that feelings, but it's shit crazy. It's a crazy feeling. But I'm doing good right now, man. Can't complain. And I push this energy off to y'all. All right. Deezy out.